So this is the review video for section 4. Your test will be coming up, so make sure to complete the entire study guide, reference this video if you have any questions, and let's get into this right now. Okay, so question 1, Joe averaged 223 total pins per game in his bowling league for this season. He is taking bowling lessons and hopes to bring his average up by 9 pins each new lesson. What is the equation to represent this sequence? So first of all, this is talking about the arithmetic sequence. It was the first lesson in this unit. So it's AN equals the first. So my first average, and that first average was 223. So my first average goes first. So on your test, that first number is the first average. Plus n, we don't know what n is, minus 1 times the difference. So what does he hope to bring the difference to? Well, he hopes to bring the difference to 9. Okay? And that is the answer to question 1. If the pattern continues, during what season will Joe average 295 per game? All right, so in this problem, we're going to use the same equation. Blank equals 223 plus n, we don't know the season yet, minus 1 times 9. Okay, now although we don't know the season, we know the average he wants it to be, 295. So where would 295 go? It goes all the way to the front, right there. So 295. Okay, so now we just simply try and solve this out. 295 equals 223 plus parentheses n minus 1 times 9. So let's distribute the 9 first to both numbers in the parentheses. So I have 295 equals 223 plus 9 times n is 9n, and 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. Okay, now I combine like terms, and the only like term that I have is 223 minus 9. So if I subtract those two numbers, I get 214. So my answer now is 295 equals 214 plus 9n. Okay, I have 2 more steps. I gotta subtract 214 to both sides. This will cross out. I am left with 295 minus 214, giving me an answer of 81. And now that equals 9n. All I need to do, divide by 9. 81 divided by 9 gives you an answer of 9. So n equals 9. And there's my answer. Okay? So, when you guys have your test, the only difference that is going to happen is the numbers. So, all you need to do is input different numbers and do every step that I just did. Let's move on to question 2. The first term of the arithmetic sequence is 24. The 35th term is 262. What is the common difference of the arithmetic sequence? Okay, so the first term is 24. So my arithmetic sequence is a of n equals a of 1. A of 1 stands for the first term plus n minus 1 times the difference. Okay, so do I have my first term? I do. My first term is 24. So put 24 instead of a1. Okay, plus n stands for the term. So the 35th term. So I have 35 minus 1. Do I know the difference? No, it's asking me what is the common difference. So I leave the variable d by itself. Now, what does this all equal? What's the only number that is not underlined? 262. So you put 262 right there. Now all we need to do is solve for my variable. So let's do this. Okay, I have parentheses. Inside the parentheses is 35 minus 1. 35 minus 1 is 34 times d, and drop everything else down. Okay, multiply 34 times d, which is 34d, plus 24 equals 262. Subtract 262 and 24, so 262 minus 24 gives you an answer of 238. 238 equals 34d. Okay, last step to do is divide by 34. And your difference equals 238 divided by 34. The difference is 7. So there is your answer. On your test, there's a simple question just like this. Do exactly what I just did. All right, let's move on to question 3. Consider the following equation: 11x plus 5y equals 8. Rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so let's do that. Slope-intercept form, what is that? If you do not know what slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. We will use this a lot in this test. Okay? Alright, let's solve this now. So I need to get 11x plus 5y equals 8 in this form right here. So I need to get y by itself. So currently on the same side as y is 11x and 5. So I need to move 11x to both sides. So minus 11x, because it's a positive, I got to subtract. Minus 11x. My 11x's cross out. Drop down my 5y. Now, is 8 and negative 11x like terms? No. So I just write it on the side. 8 minus 11x. Alright. Last step is to divide by 5. Divide everything by 5. These 5s will cross out. I am left with y equals 8 over 5. Leave it as a fraction. 8 over 5 minus 11 over 5x. Okay, and now it is in this form. So what is the slope of the equation? Well, my slope, I would write this down. Slope is always attached. So my slope is always attached to my x. So which one of these is attached to the x? Negative 11 over 5. This right here is my slope. It's the one that is attached to the x. So what's the y-intercept? The one that is not attached to the x, and that is 8 over 5. And there is my answer for number 3. This, guys, is an easy problem. We need to get this correct. I will be very upset if we do not. Okay, let's move on. So, what is the solution to the systems of equation below? Alright, so first off, let's get both of these in slope-intercept form. The first one is already in slope-intercept form. The second one is not. So let's get the second one in slope-intercept form. So multiply and multiply. Okay, 6 times negative 2 is negative 12x. 6 times y is plus 6y. And then equals 24. I did not multiply 24 by 6 because the 24 is not in parentheses. Alright, now I do what I just did up here, and I need to get y by itself. So, what's on the same side as y? The negative 12x and the positive 6. So how do I get rid of the negative 12x? I do the opposite. Add 12x to both sides. Okay, my 12x is here, cross out. I drop down my 6y. Is 24 and 12x like terms? No, they are not. So I just bring them to the side. 24 plus 12x. Last step to do is to divide by 6. Everything needs to be divided by 6. Okay? After I divide by 6, I can then cross everything out. Cross this out, and I'm left with y equals 24 divided by 6 is 6, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. And now this and this are in slope-intercept form. Okay? Now, what do we notice about this problem? What do you notice about their slopes? Both of the problems have the same slopes. Now, the problems, though, don't have the same y-intercept. Okay, so they have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. So 2x and 2x are the same slope, and 8 and 6 are different y-intercepts. So because of that, they have a no solution. The lines will never touch. So because they have different y-intercepts but the same slope, it is a no solution. So I'll write that out. If you have different y-intercepts but the same slopes, you have no solution. Okay? The graphs will never touch. Alright, so there will be a problem like that. Please pay attention. Alright, let's move to number 5. Okay, James assembles bicycles for the Castle Bike Shop. He can assemble 4 racing bikes in 7 hours, but it only takes 1 hour to assemble 3 beach cruisers. Match each type of bicycle to the graph that represents the average number of hours needed to assemble it. So you have beach cruiser and racing bike. So just to clarify, beach cruisers take 1 hour to make 3 beach cruisers. Okay? And it takes 7 hours. So 7 hours to make 4 racing bikes. Alright? So my beach cruiser would take 1 hour to make 3 bikes. Alright? So let's look at one of these that says 1 and 3 as one of my points. So 1 and 3 is right here. That's not a point on this graph. What about here, 1 and 3? Well, yeah, it matches this graph right here. So my beach cruiser is graph B. So beach cruiser. And therefore my racing bike, and let's just clarify, 7 and 4, that's a match. So racing bike is right here. This is also a very easy problem. We should all be getting this correct on this test. Alright, let's move on to number 6. Okay, Joe and Jill both run a computer repair business. Joe charges a $55 for a diagnostic and $40 per hour. Okay, Jill charges $45 for diagnostics and $60 per hour. Choose all the statements below that are correct. Alright, so both situations can be modeled using a linear function. Well, let's see. Y equals, how much is he going to be charged for Joe no matter what? $55 plus $40 per hour. So 40x. That's in slope-intercept form, so it works. What about for Jill? Let's see. Y equals, how much is a diagnostic? $45 plus 60x. Once again, It's in slope-intercept form, which means A is correct so far. The y-intercept of the function that models Jill's business is $45. So Jill is blue and Joe is green. So is Jill's y-intercept $45? Yeah, because remember, the number not attached to x is the y-intercept, and the blue one is 45, so that is the y-intercept. For C, the rate of change of the function that models Jill's business is 55. Okay, rate of change is another word for slope. So if you didn't know that, rate of change equals slope. So is Jill's slope 55? No, Jill doesn't even have 55. So C is wrong. The rate of change of the functions that model both situations represent the cost per hour. So does 40x represent the cost per hour? Yes. What about for Jill? Does 60x represent the cost per hour? Yes. So A, B, and D are all true statements. Okay? Let's move on to 7. Consider the following equations. Equation A is 12x minus 18y equals 36. Equation B is 4x minus 6y equals negative 6. So, first thing, let's put these in y equals mx plus b form. So how do I move this 12x to this other side? Subtract 12x from both sides. That leaves you with negative 18y equals 36 minus 12x. Remember, I do not combine these because they are not like terms. Last step, divide everything by negative 18. Okay. When I do that, I can cross out my 18. 36 divided by 18 is 2. So these cross out. Y equals negative 2 plus, because a negative and negative make that a positive, 12 over 18x. Alright. Can I reduce 12 and 18? Well, does 6 go into both of them? Does 6 go into 18? Well, yeah, it does. So 6 divided by 12 is 2. And 6 divided by 18 is 3. So 2 over 3x. Alright, if you didn't understand that, rewind and listen back. Alright, so this is my new equation. Let's do the other one in green. Subtract 4x from both sides. Is negative 6 and 4x like terms? No. So I need to create negative 6y equals negative 6 minus 4x. I divide by negative 6. Cross these out. Y equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. 4 over 6. So what does 4 and 6 have in common? 2. So what's 4 divided by 2? That's 2. And what's 6 divided by 2? That's 3. And don't forget the x. Okay. So which of the statements below are true? The slopes of both lines are the same and the y-intercepts are different. So what's my slope for the blue one? 2 over 3. What's my slope for the green one? 2 over 3. What's my y-intercept for the blue one? Negative 2. What's my y-intercept for the red one? 1. So are the slopes of the lines the same? Yes. And is the y-intercepts different? Yes. So that is a true statement. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is also a very easy one, but we need to pay attention to how to solve it. Match the descriptions below to the best describe best describe the given points. So, A, solution to line 1. All right. So, use the best description to describe the points below. So, let's figure this out. -3 and 3. Well, where is -3? First off, remember ordered pairs always have x first and y second. Also, remember that x goes this way and y goes this way. We have to memorize that. Okay? So x is horizontal, y is vertical. So let's find -3 and 3. So x is -3. So where is -3? It's 1, 2, 3 right here. And go all the way up to 3. 1, 2, and 3. That's this point right here. So what line is that? That is line 2. So let's see. Solution to line 1? No. Solution to line 2? Yes. So this is B. Let's do 0 and 3. Okay. 0 and 3. So 0 is x. 3 is y. So go all the way up to 3. And that's this point right here. So what is that? That's the solution to line 3. So which letter is that? That's C. Okay, next one is 6 and 0. 6 and 0. So where is 6 on the x-axis? Right here, and 0 is on that line. It's the point of intersection. So which lines are intersecting? Well, it's line 1 and line 3. So this is the answer to line 1 and line 3. So solution to the system formed by lines 1 and 2? No. Solutions to the system formed by line 2 and 3? No. Solutions to the system formed by line 1 and 3? Yes. So 6 and 0 is F. Okay. Now the next one, 0 and -3. So 0 is in the middle, go down to -3. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. And that's nothing. Okay, so this would be no solution. Okay, let's move on to 4 and 1. 4 is on the x-axis right here, and 1 is up here. All right, and that is solution to line 3. So that's C. And last but not least, 3 and -1. So 3 is on the x-axis, and -1 is down here. Look at, that's another point of intersection. So what lines are intersecting? It's line 1 and line 2. So that's the solution to line 1 and 2, and that's D. All right, very easy. You should be all able to get that. Okay, let's move on to question 9. 2 summer resorts offer private lessons for their customers. First resort charges $5 per hour plus $40 insurance. Second resort charges $10 per hour plus $30 insurance. For what number of hours is the cost of the lessons the same for each resort? Blank hours. So first of all, we need to do 2 systems. So the first one is going to be green. The second one is going to be blue. So the first resort is green, and that charges $5 per hour plus $40 insurance. So $40 insurance is never going to change, plus $5 per hour, so 5x. And that would equal the total. So that's my blue equation. The blue equation, the second result, charges $10 per hour plus $30 insurance. So how would I write that? That one's easy too. Y equals, my insurance is 30 plus 10x. So for what number of hours is the cost of lessons the same for each resort? So we need to solve for x. Well, there's an easy way to do this. Substitution. So cloud this up. And what does the cloud equal? The cloud equals y. So let's replace this and substitute it for the y in the green one. So replace it here. So let's do that. I'm going to rewrite this new equation. So, 30 plus 10x equals, and what's it going to equal? 40 plus 5x. Now I simply solve this. Okay, there are two like terms right here and right here. And then there are two like terms right here and right here. So I need to get my circles together and my boxes together. So how do I move this circle to this circle? Remember, draw a line, subtract 5x, subtract 5x. I can cross out these 5x's and drop down 10 minus 5. 10 minus 5 is 5x. It's a positive, so it's positive. Drop down my 30. Drop down my 40. Drop down the equal sign. Okay, got two more steps. Subtract 30 from both sides. I can cross out these 30s. Drop down the 5x. Equals 40 minus 30 is 10. Simply now, just divide. What does x equal? X equals 2. So 2 is the answer. Okay, pretty easy substitution problem. We should not get hung up on this. All right, let's move on to number 10. Remember, you